In this video, I'm going to share my screen and show you exactly step by step how you can create your first landing page on WordPress. And this landing page that I'm going to show you, it is going to be very step by step so that anyone with no previous experience designing any type of website is going to be able to follow along. And in order to create this website, because we are going to use WordPress, you are going to need a WordPress website. If you have a WordPress installed on a website, then we are good to go. I'm going to use Elementor page builder, and I'm also going to use Canva in order to help me make it as good as I want it to be. And Elementor, I'm going to use the free version, so you don't need any subscription in order to follow along. And this is the landing page that we are going to create, and at the end of this video you are going to have this exact landing page if you follow along step by step. And you see the landing page has several sections, and it is a multi-purpose landing page so that you can easily make some changes to make it fit your need, to make it fit any industry, any business, or anything you want to use the landing page for. And without any delay, I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. Okay, now I'm at the back end of one of my WordPress websites, and I'm going to start by creating a new page. I am going to name it sample landing page, and I am going to publish. If you have Elementor page builder already installed, you are going to have this button on the page. If you didn't see it, or even if you don't have Elementor installed on your website, just check the description of this video. I have a tutorial on how to install WordPress, buy a domain name, buy a hosting, install Elementor page builder, all the basics. So if you don't have the basics yet, just go to the description of this video and follow along the tutorials. For now, since we already have Elementor installed, I'm going to click on edit with Elementor in order to load Elementor page builder. Okay, this is the edit page of Elementor. This is where we are going to start editing, adding element, adding sections, images and text. And this is where we are going to drag element, add to the page and make changes. But first I want to build this landing page from scratch with no header and footer. In order to remove this header and footer, I am going to come to settings, this gear icon, and under settings I scroll down, page layout, I am going to change it from default to Elementor canvas. And I can click this plus icon to come back to the main element page. Okay, you see now we don't have any element, we don't have a header, footer or anything, we have a blank page. I am going to save my changes by clicking publish. Okay, I'm going to start by creating the first section, which is the hero section. And I'm going to either click this plus icon to add a container, or if I don't want to click here, I can drag the container from here. Click, double click and drag and drop it right here. Okay, you see we have our container now. I'm going to start making changes to this container. The first thing I will do is I'm going to change the height of the container to something like 500. Okay, and in order for you to be able to see the changes better, I'm going to start by adding a background to this container. This is the layout section. We are going to make some basic changes to the layout. And this is the styling section, and this is the advanced section. Don't worry, you are going to have a better understanding of how to use all these tabs and all these elements. But for now, I increase the size of this section. You see, previously, if I delete this, this is the height of the section from here to here. But when I increase it to 500, it is from down here up to here. That is why I'm going to add a background first so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to publish. I'm going to create the background that I'm going to use and any other images in Canva. So I'm going to come to Canva and go to canva.com. Okay, now we are in the homepage of Canva. I'm going to create a custom size design by coming to this scroll. I choose this one, custom size. I'm going to create a custom size of 2048 by 850 pixels. This size is going to be right for what I'm going to do for the same background size of the homepage hero section. Okay, great. Now I am at the edit page of Canva. when it finishes loading, this is the edit page. I am going to change the background of this canvas by clicking on it. I come to the top here, background color, click on it, and right here I'm going to add the color code that I want to use. This is a color that I want to use, so I am going to click on it, and now we have it. Maybe I'm going to reduce its opacity a little bit. When I click on the color right here, I can do this and drag it a little more. Okay, this lighter version is exactly what I wanted. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an image right here. Or maybe I'm going to make the background gradient, slightly gradient. So I click this settings icon on the color. And instead of solid color, I'm going to come to gradient. And this second color, I'm going to change it to this hash color. And I can change it to something like this, or this, the first one, or the last one. Yeah, I'm just going to use this one. Okay, I'm going to use this slightly gradient background. Next, I'm going to add an image of a person right here. Okay, I'm going to start by adding a frame right here on the right side. I'm going to come to element and I will search for frame, and I can scroll down. Okay, this is the frame that I am going to use. I am going to use this one. I will click and drag it right and increase its size. Okay, I am going to change the color, this color right here, the color of this border thing. And I am going to change the color by clicking from up here. And I will paste the color code that I want to use. I want to use this hash color, so I select it. Okay, and I'm going to make it gradient also by clicking on this setting icon on the color, and instead of solid color I'm going to change it to gradient, and the second color I'm going to change it to something like this. Okay, and maybe change it to something like this. Yep, that will work. And the next thing I will do is replace this placeholder image with an actual image of a person. So I'm going to scroll down to the photos section and click on it. And I'm going to search for something like lady or happy person. Okay, I can scroll down a little to find the right image. Okay, I like this one, so I'm going to click on it to add it to the page. And I'm going to reduce the size, something like this. And I'm going to just click and hover over the frame, and now it is on, it replaces the placeholder image. And I am going to resize it, but I'm going to do something else. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of this. Okay, and I'm going to add the picture, the same picture again on the page. This one. But this time I'm going to remove the background of the image. So I'm just going to come to the top here and click on BG remover. Okay, I'm going to reduce the size a little more again, and I'm going to drag it here. But I'm going to be careful not to replace the picture that I currently have. So I'm going to do something like this. And I'm going to reduce the transparency of this image to something like this. I will click and drag to increase the size of the image in the back. I want to make it the same size as the one in the front. Okay, something like this. Now I can select the image at the top, and I will just adjust its position to make sure it fits perfectly with the one at the back. Okay, I believe now it fits, so I'm going to turn back the transparency, and I'm going to select the same image, and I'm going to come to edit. Okay, I will select, you see background remover, I'm going to click this setting icon, and I'm going to make sure I choose erase, and I will increase the size of the brush. and I will delete this part. Oops, not the hand. Okay, let me delete this size a little more. Okay, I'm going to go back. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. The next thing I will do is I will group them together. So I will double click, highlight the two images, and I will click on group right here at the top. You see it right here. I click on it. So now the images are grouped together. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Element, and I will clear the search so that I have an empty. Then I will choose this one. Under shapes, I will choose a normal shape. Okay, I will click and drag it to make it right here and increase the size like this, and I will change its color to something like this. Okay, I'm going to click on it, right click under layer. I'm going to send it to back. Okay, I'm going to add one more thing under element. I'm going to add this shape, and I'm going to change its color to white. And I will click it and put it somewhere like here. And I'm going to add a text now. I will add a headline. I will say 990 plus. I will drag and place it right here. I will change the font to something like Montserrat Bold. Okay, I will choose black. I will reduce its size. Okay, 50 will do. I will drag it somewhere like this. And I will add another text, subheadline. I will write happy client. And I will do this. And I will click and drag and put it down here. I'm going to change it to Montserrat. And I will reduce its size to something like this, and line height, I'm going to reduce it also to something like 1.1, and I'm going to drag it down. I don't really like the text, so I'm going to maybe make it smaller. Okay, something like this, and maybe increase the size of the box. And this one I can turn it back to 50. And I will reduce the size here. Okay, this looks much better, and this is the background that we are going to use. So I'm going to download it from up here and click download. Make sure PNG is selected and then click download. Okay, I'm going to come back to Elementor. I choose my first section. I will come to style, and under normal I'm going to choose classic, and I will click here to upload my image. I'm going to go to upload files, and I will click select files. I will come to my downloads folder, and I'm going to select the image right here and click open. Okay, when it finishes uploading, you just click on select to add it to the page. Okay, we can scroll down and make some changes. Make sure image resolution is set to full. I'm going to change the display size to cover. And we are going to change the position to maybe center. And repeat, I'm going to say no repeat. And attachment, we can leave it to default, or we can change it to scroll. It's all the same. Okay, now let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks great, just as I wanted. So I'm going to click save or publish in order to save the changes I make. Okay, next I'm going to click on this plus icon to come back to the main section, and I'm going to add another container inside this main section. and I will duplicate it to have 2 containers. But you see we have 1 container on top of each other, and that is not what we want. So I'm going to select the main section. I'm going to come back to layout, and right here direction I'm going to change it to horizontal. So you see now we will have the 2 sections, left and right. And I'm going to also make one more change, justify content. I'm going to make it center. And that is it. The next thing I will do is this section itself, the 2 sections that I have, the one on the left, I'm going to select it. I'm going to change the direction of the content to vertical. And I'm going to justify content also center. And then I will come back to all elements, and I'm going to add a heading inside this one. Now you see our heading is perfectly in the center of the left column, and I'm going to change the text to something like okay, I'm going to change it to #1 and come back to style, make it left. Typography, I'm going to change it to Montserrat. I just like Montserrat, especially bold. You can use any font you like. And the weight, I'm going to make it 900 black. And size, I'm going to do this. Maybe 55 will do. I'm going to change the line height. Okay, 65 is good. Let me remove the editor and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks good, but the text is not exactly as I want it to be. I want it to be in 3 lines, yes, but it looks weird with this empty space. So I'm going to make a little adjustment. First, let me change it from black to 700 bold. And let me see how it looks. Not exactly, so I'm going to add a margin. I will click here to unlink values. Probably 100 will do. Okay, exactly. This is exactly as I want it. I'm going to change the color of this text by coming back to the style tab. And right here, text color, I'm going to change it to something like 1C, 1C. Okay, next I'm going to add a short description. So I'm going to come back to all element right here, text editor. I click and drag and drop it right here. And right here under content, this is where you are going to make changes to the text, but I'm going to leave the placeholder text. You can come to the style tab, make it left, center, right, justify, but I'm going to leave it left. You can click this pencil icon to change the font, size, weight, and everything, but the default looks good enough for what I want, so I'm going to leave it. You can change the text color from here, link color, but the text color is also good enough. So if I remove the editor, yep, this is what I want, but I'm going to add a little spacing so that it doesn't come all the way to this place. I'm going to do this, click on it, and come to advanced margin. I'm going to unlink it. Right, I'm going to add 80. Let's take a look. Yes, this is exactly as I want it. So I'm going to come back to all element and save. Okay, now I'm going to add a call to action button under this text, and I'm going to just come right here, container. I'm going to add another container right here, and I'm going to add a button inside this container. And you can find a button right here, or you can search right here, but a button is not too far away, so I'm just going to drag and drop it inside. I want to have 2 buttons, so I'm going to duplicate this one by right clicking on here and click on duplicate. But I don't want them to be one on top of another. I want them to be left and right, so I'm going to choose the container they are in, and direction I'm going to choose horizontal, and justify I'm going to make them center. No, left is what I would like them to be. So I'm going to start by styling this first one. I'm going to, when you click on it under content, I can change the text from click here to learn more. We can add a link to where we want people to go to when they click on this button, and I can add an icon, but I don't want to add an icon to this first one. So the next thing I will do is make some styling changes to the button. So I can come to Style tab. Position, I'm going to make it left aligned, and typography, I can change it to Montserrat. And I can change it from normal to maybe medium or semi-bold. Yeah, semi-bold is better. Okay, I'm going to leave the text color in white first, and background, I'm going to make sure classic is selected, and I'm going to choose here to change the color. I'm going to add a color code here, or you can use this to drag and select a color, but I'm going to just paste the color code that I want to use. And I'm going to change the color of the actual text to something like this. And I'm going to add a border type. I'm going to change it to solid. And border width, I'm going to add 3 pixels. And border color, I'm going to change it to white. And border radius, I'm going to change it to 50. So we have a rounded button. Let me remove this and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks exactly as I want it. So I'm going to save my changes. Next thing I want to do is style this button also, but I don't want to style it from scratch. So I'm going to copy the styling of this button by right clicking on it. I do copy, and I will come to this one, right click and paste style. But I don't want them also to look exactly the same. So I'm going to click this one, change the text to something like book a call. And for this one, I'm going to add an icon. So I'm going to click icon library, and I can add maybe an arrow or maybe a call. Let's see what we have. A pun. Yeah, maybe we are going to use this one. Okay. The next thing I want to do is add some spacing to the icon, between the icon and the text. Maybe 15 will do. 15 is too much, so I will add 10. I can come to the styling tab, and for this one I'm going to change the text color. Yes, the text color can stay as it is, but the color of the background, let me just copy to save it here. I'm going to change the background color to white, and I'm going to change the border color to this one. So let's see how it looks. Yep, looks good. The next thing I will do is remove some paddings from this section that the buttons are in, so that they perfectly align with the text above. I can come to the advanced, and padding I'm going to add 0. So when we remove the editor, they are going to align perfectly with the text. And the next thing I'm going to do is save my changes. But when I look at it, it looks a little too empty. So I'm going to add some element on the background image. I'm going to come back to Canva. I can duplicate this page by clicking here. And I can add some element here and there just to make it a little better. I can add some element. When you come to the element tab, you can add element, but I have some element here that I copy. So I'm just going to drag them. I can change the color, or maybe these ones I'm going to leave them as they are. I can come to the element. When you search for arrow, I think you can find this element. Arrow. Under graphics, I can see click to open all graphics. Here I wanted this one. I can place it down, reduce its size, and maybe change its color to something like dark like this. and I can reduce its opacity to something like this. I can come back to the element, search for arrow again, maybe add this one. This one look a little better than this empty one, so I'm going to download this one and I'm going to replace it. This time, since I have more than one page, I'm going to make sure I select only page 2, which is a current page. I click done. PNG is selected. I'm going to click download. Okay, great. I can come back here, open my editor, and select the section, come back to style, and I'm going to replace this image. Okay, this looks better. So we are going to move to the next section, which is going to be our second section. I can scroll down here, click the plus icon, add another section, choose the first one, and I'm going to start by changing the color of the section. I can come down here, background color, I can choose gradient, and I'm going to copy the same color that I have for this background. So I'm going to select it. I can come to the color, open it off. The first color is this one, so I'm going to copy it, come back here, and I'm going to change it from up here. And the second color is this one, so I'm going to copy it also, come back down here, and I'm going to paste it. The angle, I'm going to change it maybe to 80 degree is better. Location 100 is good. Then I'm going to come back to layout. Direction is good enough. I'm going to make it center, justify content. So I will come back here and I will add another container inside. But on the main container, I'm going to select the main container and I'm going to add some padding. I'm going to add 40 padding on each side. Then I will choose the container. Now you see we have some spacing at the top, left and right and bottom. I'm going to come to the advanced margin. I'm going to add 80 pixel left and right. I can come back to the main section. Align items, I make it center. Okay, I can select it again, come back to style, and the color of the inner section, I'm going to change it from to this dark color. And I'm going to add a border radius of something like 20 pixel. Okay, you are not going to see exactly how it looks until I add some items inside it. So I'm going to start by adding some heading. Heading 1, I'm going to copy the styling of this one. And I will right click and paste style. You cannot see it because it is black and the background is also black. So I'm going to come to styling and change its color to white. Now you see, you can see it. I'm going to change it to heading 6 maybe. Or maybe heading 3 will do. And I'm going to make it center. I'm going to change the dummy content to something like okay, I'm going to come to the styling and reduce its size. It is way too big. So I'm going to reduce it to something like 30 will do. Or maybe 35 will do. Yes. I'm going to remove the line height so that it have the default one. And I'm going to remove the margin. that I had at the top. Okay, instead I'm going to add left and right the same. Let me add maybe 80. Oh yeah, maybe the 100 left and right is going to be better. It won't be better, so I'm going to do 150 on left and right. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it, and the top one I'm going to change it to something like what we do. And I'm going to change it to heading 6. I'm going to come to style, typography. I'm going to reduce it to something very small like this, 18. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing. I want to change the color of grow into a different color to emphasize it. So I'm going to copy the color of this section. This one, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to come back to the heading. I'm going to use some tag, something like the tag goes like this. I'm going to add a tag right here. Oops, not blue, so I'm going to copy the color again. Okay, I can come to the heading. Right here, I will paste the color, and I'm going to close it here. Okay, now you see only grow is slightly, the color is the color of the lighter version of the color in the background. I'm going to add some more spacing. If we remove the editor, you see this text is way close to the top, so I'm going to add spacing top and the bottom. So I'm going to open here, choose the main section, and come to advanced. And I'm going to add spacing at the top, 80. Oh no, 80 is too much, so 60, and bottom 60, and left 40, and right 40. So let's see how it looks. Okay, yeah, this looks good. But this still is way too long, so I'm going to have to add more margin. Maybe I'm just going to add 250 left and right. Okay, let's see. Yep, this looks exactly as I wanted. Okay, I'm going to save my changes. Next thing I will do, I'm going to add some boxes below this heading, and I am going to add another container below it. And I'm going to change the direction to horizontal, justify content center. Then I'm going to come to element. I'm going to search for icon box right here. I'm going to drag and drop it, and I will duplicate it twice. So now you see we have 3 icon boxes. I'm going to start by styling the first one. I'm going to change the icon to something like and I am going to change it to prime, and I will change the heading. You cannot see the heading because the heading is dark and the background is also dark. And the description, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to come to the styling tab. Let me start by changing the title so that you will be able to see what I am working with. Yep, now you can see the title. Now let's change the background of the box entirely. Let me copy the color here. Come to style, and I'm going to copy this one. And come back, select the icon box, and I will go to advanced and come down to background, classic, and I will change the color from here. Okay, next I'm going to add paddings. You see the icon is way too close to the top, so I'm going to add something like 25 pixels on each side. Okay, I can come back to style. I will choose the icon. I'm going to change the primary color to something maybe white. No, not white. I'm going to change the secondary color first to white. And I'm going to remove the border radius to 0. And I will change this one to dark. Okay, maybe I will just change the icon from framed to stacked. Yes, I'm going to change it to stacked. And yeah, I'm going to change the icon. The main color, I'm going to change it to white. And the secondary color, I'm going to change it to the dark one. Okay, this is what I wanted. I'm going to reduce its size to maybe 25 or 26 will do. Let me come back to the box. Okay, next I'm going to come down to content. The title, I will change it to dark. And typography, I'm going to change it to Montserrat. It is too big, but first let me change the weight to semi-bold. And I will change the size. 24 is better. And the description, I'm just going to leave it as default. And alignment, maybe it will be better like this. Okay, now let's see how it looks. Yeah, this looks better, but I'm going to add some margin. I'm going to select it, come to advanced. Margin, I'm going to add left and right, something like 25. No, not 250, 25. And the right, I'm also going to add 25. So let's see how it looks. Yep, this looks much better. So I'm going to duplicate this one 2 times. And I'm going to delete these 2. Okay, if we remove this, you see now we have 3 nice looking boxes, but I'm going to make a few adjustments. For example, this one, I'm going to change its background color. I'm going to come to style or advanced. I will scroll down to background and I will select the background and paste this color. But the next one, I want to change it to this color of this button. So I'm going to select it and copy the color. And I will come down, select it, come to advanced and background. Okay, I'm going to save my changes. Okay, I'm going to quickly make changes to the content. So for the icon, this one, I'm going to change it to, let's say, just book. Just so they don't have the same thing, all of them. And I will change the title to maybe something like paid campaigns or maybe just campaigns. And the next one, I can change it to something like maybe video. And the title can be something like, yeah, just some random things. And I'm going to save my changes. Okay, let's remove the editor. And this is our page so far. Now I'm going to add the next section, or I'm going to add some space in between this section and this one. So I can just come back here, select this section, come to advanced and padding. On top, I'm going to change it to maybe 100. Yes, and bottom, I can also change it to 100. Yep, this will be better. Okay, next I'm going to add an about section. I can just select, come down, section, and I'm going to copy the style of this section. I can just right click and copy, and I will come down here, right click and paste style. so that it has the same style as the section above. But I'm going to make some changes to the background color. So I select it, I come to style. For the hash color, I'm just going to change it to white so that it is much lighter. And the angle, maybe I will do this. Yes, 140 is better. So I'm going to add another section or 2 sections inside this main one. I'm going to add a container and duplicate it to have 2 containers. And I will make them left and right instead of one on top of another. Okay. Now I'm going to add an image in here, but the image I'm going to create it in Canva. And the image I'm just going to create a custom size. I'm going to create 1090 by something like 1450 and create a design. Okay, first I'm going to add an element inside this canvas. Okay, I'm going to add this chef and I'm going to change its color from up here. I'm going to use this color. I select it and I'm going to increase its size to something like this. I'm going to add a texture, so I'm going to search for something like, let's try this one. I will change its color to white. Okay, I'm going to maybe copy some icons from here. Let's copy this one and let's add it here. And copy maybe this one also and paste it here. Let's change it to white. Okay, let's come down to photos and search for a happy person again. Maybe this one will do. And I will reduce the size and remove its background and adjust its size. Yes, this is what I want. I'm going to reduce its size and make sure there is no background. And I'm going to export it. This one I'm going to choose transparent background because I want it without a background. And I'm going to download. Okay, now that it's finished, I can come back to the page and I'm going to drag an image and add it to the right side. And come back here, upload files, select files. Come down here and select and upload it. Okay, when it finishes, I click select to add it to the page. Okay, when I remove the editor, yeah, this looks good, but I'm going to reduce its size a little. It is a little too big. So I'm going to select the image, come to the styling tab and max width. I'm going to change it to something like maybe 75. And let's see. Yes, this is much better. So I'm going to save my changes. Next, I'm going to add a heading here. So I can come to all elements, heading, drag and drop. I can just copy a styling from up here. I can copy the styling of this one and right click here and paste style. The first thing I will do is remove all the margins and paddings. So I can come to advanced. I will remove this and this, and I will change the color so that it is visible to something like this. And I will make it left aligned. and I will change the actual text to something like and I'm going to change the color of guaranteed to this sharp color. I'm just going to come up here, right here. I'm going to copy the code, this span code. Okay, I can come down here. Right next to guaranteed, I'm going to paste it, but I don't want to use a lighter color, so I'm going to copy the color that I use here. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to add a text under it, and I'm going to add a call to action button. And instead of styling the button from scratch, I'm just going to copy this one that said book a call. Right click and copy. I can on top of the text, I right click and do paste. So now I have the button down there. I can simply delete this one, but I can change the color of it, styling. Okay, I can save my changes. Another thing I can do is add a background overlay, and I can come back to this main style and I can duplicate this one. I can just remove the color and I can choose these icons. I click shift, hold shift and click to select them all, and Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl B to paste them all here. I can remove this one and I will just save the file with no background. Okay, I can come back, select the main section, style, under background overlay, make it classic, image, upload files, select files, and I selected this one, upload, and select. I can make the same changes, make it cover, and no repeats. Attachment by default, I can leave the position default also. So now you see we have this little icon right here, we have this one and this one, so that it is not too empty. And next I'm going to save my changes. Maybe add duplicate this text, maybe the text is too short. Okay. Yes, now it looks much better. So I am going to save my changes. Okay, I'm going to add another section down here. And I'm going to copy the styling of this one. And I will paste it here. Paste style. Or before I even do that, I want to make one little adjustment. And the change is, let me copy the background color of this one. I will make a little change to the background color. And I want, instead of white, I want it to be like this. And the angle, let me adjust the angle a little more. Okay, this is good. Let's see. Okay, this is better. So what I will do next is copy the styling and right click and paste style. But I'm going to adjust the angle of this one. So I'm going to select it, come to style. Okay, I'm going to change the angle to something like this. Okay, good. I will save my changes. And I'm going to add one section in one container inside this section. And I'm going to change the color of it to dark. And I'm going to add two containers inside this one. I can come back here, container, drag and drop, and I will duplicate it. And I will change the direction of the main container on the layout to horizontal. Okay, next thing I will do is I will add a border radius to the main container on the style. Border radius 20 pixel will do, or maybe 10. Okay, I'm going to add an image on this side, so I'm going to first save, then I will come back to this file and add another page, and I will come back to photos and I will search for happy person again. Maybe let's add this one. Right click and set it in the background, drag and center it like this, and simply save it. This one we don't want it to have transparent background, so I'm going to disable from here. Okay, we can come back here, drag and drop an image, upload file, select file, and select and upload. Okay, click on add to add it to the page. And I'm going to add some round corner round to this image. First, I'm going to reduce its width to 80%. And I'm going to add some border radius of 20 pixel. And I will come to advanced. Margin, I'm going to unlink it. And top, I'm going to minus 30 or minus 50. Yeah, something like this. I'm going to add a quotation mark. I will search for icon. And search for icon from here, quote. And I will come to the style, make it left. Color, I will change it to white. And size, I will change it to something like 22 will do. I will choose the main section and change its content to center. This one, I will also change it to center. And I will add some padding to the main section. And I will add something like 20 pixel or 25. Okay, next I will add some text editor under the block quote. And I will change its color also to white so that it is visible. And I will add some small heading. I will copy this one. And paste it right here. So that it will be like a name of a person. I will remove the margin. And make it left align. And reduce its size a little. And I will add a call to action. Maybe I will add the white one, this one. So I'm going to right click and copy. Come down here, right click and paste. Okay, I can click publish and let's see how it looks. Okay, this looks good. I'm only going to make a few changes, reduce the size of this image and add the border corner to 20 pixels. Okay, this is all good. I'm just going to increase this text is too short, so I'm going to increase it, this dummy text. Okay, this is all good. Now I'm going to add the final section. So I'm going to do this. And I am going to copy the styling of this section. And right click here and paste style. But I'm going to change the next a few changes. I'm going to start by changing this background color to classic instead of gradient. And I will change it to dark like this. I'm going to adjust the spacing. Top and bottom are going to be 40 pixels. Left and right 80 is good enough. And I'm going to add a container inside this one and duplicate it and change the direction. And I'm going to add a small heading like this one. And I'm going to add a bigger one like this one. And I'm going to remove the margin from this one and make it left align. And I will add a call to action button here. So I'm just going to copy this one and paste it here. Save my changes. Okay, this looks good. So I'm going to save all my changes and I'm going to view my page. View our landing page. So I'm going to click view page. And this is how our landing page is going to look to visitors. You see all the sections that we have created. The next thing you want to do now is spend some time, play around with it, make some changes, and make it exactly as you want it to be. So thank you for watching. If you like similar tutorials and you want to be good at creating landing pages, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.